Hello everybody. Today we are here to talk about one of the maybe hardest and I think most discussed topics of minimalism. And you see it right here, it's sentimental items. And these are all the sentimental items that I have at the moment in like non-digital form. I can tell you it has been a journey to come to like that amount. It was so much more. And I do have a lot of like digital photos and videos, and I have organized them pretty well actually on hard drives. But that is just everything I have in a material way. And sentimental items, I think, are one of the most personal things, and there is really nothing I want to tell anybody on what to keep or what not to keep and how much you can keep and everything like that. Just everybody has to figure out for themselves how much they want to have of these sentimental items and which items to keep, obviously. But there are a few things that I want to share with you that I've just like thought about during the last few years. And also maybe I want to share a few of my tips or of my strategies or of my ways with like dealing with sentimental items. They are here because we have a wonderful memory. We are attached to them because they like make us feel a certain way, or because they contain information that we really want to have and that we are afraid of losing. Maybe I can go through what I have here real quick and let you like see a little bit of my memories. That is a blanket somebody knitted for me, and actually not for me but for my son when he was born, and I know the sheep that wool came from. I saw them being born. The wool was like cut gently with a scissor, and like the whole process of making it into a yarn and knitting it was done by the people of having these sheep. And so that gift for my son's birth is really special, and it's more special because I think there's no other item like this in this world. I don't just want to discard that, give that to a secondhand store where I don't know who is going to use it in the future. I'm really comfortable giving that away to somebody I care and somebody I know would care for that as well. But I haven't found anybody like this until now, so I'm holding on to this because it is just kind of a really special blanket. Here I have some of my diaries that I've kept since I was 12 or 13 maybe, and originally it was like 10 of them. I have the one I'm like currently writing in right here. That's the one of like the last 6 years, and I was much more quickly going through these when I was younger. But I've just kept a few. The other ones actually are still in my house because I want to make sure that I really want to get rid of them. Because of course there are so many thoughts. There are all the days I've spent, all the feelings I had in my teenage years are written in these diaries. So if I get rid of these, I will never be able to get these things back, at least the things I don't remember. We will talk about that part later. Here I have all the pictures my parents took and some letters I got, and here is like a very small thing my son wore when he was just a few days old, and that's very special to me as well because my grandma's knitted it and sent it to me, and so that's a special thing as well, and I will keep that just to remember how tiny he was. And it's just, yeah, it's a really nice thing, and I'm comfortable with keeping it. It's small enough to like. And then I think the larger thing is things I produced as a child, and that's like 5% or even maybe only 2% of what my parents kept for me. And I think it's really nice. They kept so many things I made as a child, because I think it should be my decision what I want to keep and what not. And so I'm very thankful that I got like this huge of a pile of things I could decide what I wanted to keep from. And that these are the things I have right now. Maybe I'm gonna go and declutter them even more. And there are like some things I made during school and my, like, how do you call these, report cards. but I was in a school where they actually write your report cards. You don't just get a number or a letter, you actually get like a few sentences on what you worked on, how you got better over the year. And so I think it is really nice to have that. It's not just, if it was just numbers, I would discard it right away. But it actually means something, because I had these teachers for many years and they took their time and actually thought about what they wrote in these report cards. So I think that's very nice. So why do I have these things? I realized that I have a lot of like paper stuff. I really don't have any souvenirs or sentimental items like that. I don't have any teddy bears. Yeah, I have a lot of paper. For these things, because it is paper stuff, it would be super easy to just like take pictures of it and digitize them and have them in a digital way. But what I've realized is that I have much more like joy looking back at them if they are actually in paper form, because I can see like the strokes of paint I made there as a kid. I can like feel the texture of the paper. Somehow it just is more valuable to me when it is actually in paper form. And that is the same for pictures. I really like to have my pictures in here, take them in my hands and not just look at them on a computer screen. Now, I think what is really, really important is that I just decide to keep these because I have an apartment. My sentimental items take up as much space as my clothing items do. And apart from that, I don't actually have that many more items that belong to me personally, like apart from all the household kitchen stuff and things like that. So I think it's okay to have that amount of things, just because it's not that much and I don't have much in general. But if I would change my lifestyle, if I would like pack everything I own into a backpack and travel around the world, and if I wouldn't want to like put these in storage, I would be okay with digitizing them. So it is just for right now, where I have the space, where I am in this apartment, where I'm not like moving, or where it's not really weighing me down, because these things weigh a lot. But I don't have to carry them at the moment, so I don't have a problem with keeping them. But I would be absolutely willing to downsize a lot more if I would get anything from it. But just right now, it wouldn't bring anything good if I got rid of even more. Maybe I will go through them, and I actually did that during the last few months. I went through my sentimental items again and again and again, and I've did that also over the past few years. It's less and less every time, yes, but I think I'm soon at a point where I'm not really willing to let go of more. Now, let's maybe talk about why I keep sentimental items in general. I mean, they should trigger a memory, and I think that is a quite tricky part, because most of these pictures I draw and most of these pictures that were taken of me are from an age where I can't even remember. I mean, I can remember things from that age, but I can't remember what I draw. So this is more about like documentation, I think, because it's not triggering my memories. And I realized also that my memories, I usually have my memories and I'm not afraid of losing them. And also shifting memories and changing memories are normal. So it is very, very normal that our memories change. And sometimes maybe you've like had something similar with your siblings or your parents or somebody close to you, that you remember the same memory in a different way. And that is just because we like keep retelling the same stories to ourselves in our minds, and it changes over time, and sometimes it's even wrong. But it doesn't really matter, because it's a memory. It's not the actual thing that happened, it's just your memory. And that is a huge difference. Memories are not what really happened, and memories are not meant to be an accurate documentation of your life, because you want to make your memories your own. You want your memories to change with your age, and you want to change them maybe for the better, hopefully, and you don't really want to remember all the bad stuff. So I also think if any of the sentimental items that I have trigger bad memories, and that was the case for like some of the journals. In some of my journals there were like more sad and bad and yeah, stuff I really didn't actually want to remember than things I wanted to remember. Also, there was a lot of meaningless stuff. I had a time where I just wrote down everything I did every day. So there would be every day like an entry of 2 or 3 pages with just what I did. And actually I wrote it in such a like bad way that I couldn't even really read it when I tried a few months ago. And so it was not a pleasant thing to do, rereading these things, because it was kind of meaningless. It was kind of not really careful, not really easy to read. So I decided that I don't need these anymore. I mean, we only really keep these items because we are afraid of losing our memories. And actually losing our memory is maybe something we couldn't be concerned about when we're 60 or 70. And I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But I don't really know if these things will help us then, because maybe it's also disturbing looking at pictures and just not knowing who it is or when it was, or just not feeling a connection at all with these things. So I think the things only mean something to you as long as you have a connection. And that is also something I really paid attention when going through my items, is just looking at them and actually seeing if I have a connection to these things, if the item actually sparks a memory or actually makes me feel good, or if it's just something that I think, oh, I have to keep it because I'm on this picture when I was 2 years old doing that, then I think it's not worth keeping, because I don't need things that are kind of not meaning so much to me. What I really did enjoy actually is going through these things again and again, because over the past 10 years, the most times I actually looked at the things is when I was going through them, because that's a problem a lot of people have, and I have as well, is that you keep all these great sentimental items, but then actually you never really go back to them and never really look at them and cherish them and get the good feelings out of them. They should be like beneficial. They just should be something that I like, that I actually use. And using in the sense of like going back, looking through them, having a great time. And I think the more sentimental items I had, the less likely I would go through them. Because I mean, look at that. Oh, I don't know how many pictures it is exactly, but I think maybe it's still 200 or more. So going through these takes me, I mean, if I really want to look at every picture, it does take me an hour or even longer. And so it's almost an overwhelming task to just go through the sentimental items and looking at each of them. And that's not really what I want it to be. So I think that's one tip maybe. The less things you actually have, the more likely you are going to be enjoying the individual items. Downsizing was very helpful in a way that I would now actually look at them, because they are like at a size and at a number where you can actually go through it, where you can actually look at them. It's not just overwhelming and like you're not drowning in pictures. I mean, memories are somehow tied to the past, and our lives are always in the present, even though that the present is really hard thing to grasp. It's only 1 second or not even. I mean, the present is something in between the past and the future, and it's not actually, it has no real time. So we as humans are kind of always living in the past and in the future, and have a very hard time living in the present, even though the present is the only time we can actually do something in. We can actually make decisions, we can actually like move our body through this world and do things. So to create memories, we have to do something in the present. And maybe we also have to think a little bit about the future and the past when it comes to making decisions on what to do with your life. And I think it is beautiful looking back on your past and having all these good memories and all these good lessons maybe you learned, and feeling good because you had these amazing experiences. But also life is about the present, and also life is going into the future. And so the past is actually not the direction you're going in. So I think for myself, it is very important to see as well that my life is going into the future. I'm going into the future, and the future will bring like more life. And the past is something wonderful, and I want to have something from the past, but actually it's not the most important thing. So if I would lose all of the things, I would be sad for a while, I think, but it would not keep me from living. It would not keep me from like creating the life I want to have, and it wouldn't be that horrible. I love having sentimental items. I love having things from the past. But the past is not everything. The past is actually something that is gone, that is past, that is not the most important thing anymore. Because I think the most important thing is the present moment right now. And maybe the second most important thing is looking into the future and seeing how you can change yourself, your environment, the world for the better, or for what you want it to be. I really hope you want it to be better and not worse. So let me know what you think about sentimental items in general. Also let me know how many you keep, or like how you handle them, and what thoughts you have had about sentimental items, and what you think in general about the things, and if you think I have a lot or not so many sentimental items. So leave a comment with everything you're thinking about this topic. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to see more videos, check out these right here. I've linked you a playlist and another video, and until next time, bye!